Hi, my name is Stephanie. I'm a registered nurse, and I'll be discussing a learning activity based on the National League for Nursing Certified Nurse Educator 2015 Candidate Handbook. So in the handbook, there is a test blueprint, and it lists the major content areas for the examination. One of the areas, I believe it's number 2, is titled Facilitate Learner Development and Socialization. This makes up 14% of the examination. Under this section, the educator should identify individual learning styles and unique learning needs of learners with these characteristics. One of them is culturally diverse. So students' ethical and cultural background influence learning preferences. Another characteristic is English as a second language, traditional versus non-traditional students. A traditional student would be one who just graduated from high school. At-risk students, for example, those who are economically disadvantaged, and those who have previous nursing education. For this learning activity, as an instructor, I would like to administer a learning style questionnaire to students. When am I going to administer it? I will discuss that in the research section. So first, there are various learning style models. There are over 70 of them. But the more common learning style models, one of them is called VARK. It stands for Visual, Oral, Read, Writing, and Kinesthetic. Another one is the Index of Learning Style based on Howard Gardner's Multiple Intelligences theory. Another one is Myers-Briggs type indicator, which I believe is used quite often in the military. And the last one is Kolb's Experimental Learning Style based on Kolb's Experiential Learning Theory. So Kolb's experimental learning style model is most often used in nursing. And so that is the one that we are going to focus on. So first we're going to talk about the theory. So Kolb's experiential learning theory is a 4-stage process, and it's quite simple. The first stage is a concrete experience. So this is when a learner or a student has an experience. The second stage is observation and reflection. So a student would reflect about the experience. It would reflect on the experience. The third stage is abstract conceptualization. This is when the learner learns from the experience. And the fourth stage is active experimentation. This is applying what the student has learned, so applying the knowledge. So successful learning occurs when an individual goes through all 4 of these stages. However, an individual may develop strengths in certain areas, and this led to the development of the learning style inventory, which takes about 15 to 20 minutes to complete. So when it is completed, it will give a student a learning style. There are 4 learning styles. The first learning style is type 1. It is a diverger. This is a mix of concrete and reflective modes. These type of learners respond well to explanations of how the course materials apply to them. How does it apply to their job? Is it of interest to them? They are very imaginative people, and they have strong discussion skills. Examples of these types of people may be nurses and social workers. The second type is assimilators. This is a mixture of abstract and reflective modes. These people prefer information that is organized, very logical. They need time to think, time to reflect. They are less people-oriented, less practical, but they are able to create abstract models to explain phenomena or create theories. Examples of these types of people would be philosophers. The third type are convergers. So this is a mixture of abstract and active modes. These people want one answer to a question, or hypothesis testing. They are very people-oriented. They are very practical. An example of these type of people would be engineers. Finally, the last type is an accommodator. This is a mix of concrete and active modes. They are very hands-on people, so right away you can think of nurses. They adapt to new situations quickly. They use trial and error to solve problems. They are very people-oriented and active learners. So again, examples of these types of people would be nurses and physical therapists. So I have a diagram here that shows how the theory and the learning styles can be combined in the diagram. So you can take a look at it here. So there are 4 learning styles, and this is the learning process: concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation. So a combination of concrete experience and reflective observation would be the diverging learning style. These people, their strength is feeling and watching. And so it's a mixture of the two. And so the other styles are on here as well: assimilating, converging, and accommodating. So you can take a look at that a little bit further. So what does the research say about the learning styles? D'Amore, James, and Mitchell, they analyzed learning styles using Kolb's learning style inventory, which we just discussed. So they used it for first-year undergraduate and midwifery students. So they found that students from the same demographic areas had different learning styles, but only in the first year. After the first year, there was no significant difference. They also found a dominant learning style in these first-year students. The dominant learning style was a diverger learning style. Remember, these are the type of people who are social workers. They could also be nurses. Another group of researchers, Simpson and Dew, investigated the relationship between student learning styles and the enjoyment of an online class. So most of the students were convergent or assimilative learning styles. And the people who had convergent styles reported the greatest enjoyment in an online class. So people such as engineers would really like or really get enjoyment from taking an online class. Another group of researchers, Terrell and Dringus, wanted to determine if assimilator or accommodator learning style predicted success in online learning. What they found was that no style predicted success in online learning. So as a nurse educator, again, what I would like to do is to administer a learning style questionnaire to students. Many of the learning style inventories are free. However, I was unable to find a free Kolb learning style inventory. So the cost of the examination could maybe be incorporated into the tuition and fees for the college. But since the college's budget is not an issue for this activity, the exam can be provided free of charge to the students. So I would administer this learning style inventory at the beginning of a course or for first semester nursing students. And what I would want to determine, I need to know the distribution of students' learning styles so I could customize the course design. This is needed to create a learning environment that supports students' learning styles. By doing this, it should increase student learning, it should increase their motivation to study, and it may increase retention among the first semester nursing students. I want to thank you for listening to my learning activity, which again is based on the National League for Nursing Certified Nurse Educator 2015 Candidate Handbook. Thank you.